An international organization, Food and Agriculture Organization, visited Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology Research Station to see 22 varieties of cassava mechanization farm, how cassava is planted on ridges, and a newly developed TEK mechanical cassava harvester by Professor Emmanuel Bobobi. The FAO team brought representatives from Rome, Italy, Benin, Togo, Mali, Guinea, Ghana, and others at the research station of KNUST located at Fumesua in the Ashanti region on Wednesday, 6th December 2017. An associate professor of agricultural machinery engineering at KNUST, specialist researcher in agricultural mechanization, Professor Emmanuel Bobobi, addressed the visitors about the cassava mechanization farm.
6 varieties using the technology that you'll be seeing, where the ridging has been done. All of them we have reached, but after some we made the ridges narrow just for multiplication purpose. So we have planted all these varieties, and today, as we are in December now, it's 14 months. We have been characterizing the starch yield and then the tuber yield, and then we have realized that it is actually going to be a standard to even harvest the cassava, before 1 year old. Is the one that is no, apart from the pre-emergence spray we did, we never weeded, and this is one. You can just take a look, and the under is as clean as you can even have a picnic there. And then we have 3 of them, picnic. So that is also something I'll be discussing with my colleague, the breeder, so that if those are the varieties, because I don't know why, I cannot understand why they have 22. But if there are any special things, but look at the way I've done it, we'll discuss those findings and then see whether is it worthwhile to either focus more attention on these ones or we, increase them more. And we started checking the starch and then those proximate analysis from 7 months. But we would have wished to do it for all the 22 so that we know exactly these parameters, how they affect. Now, I think the result we have got is not conclusive, but it is interesting. Today, what you'll be seeing is that you'll be seeing the real harvesting. The operator will harvest 2 or 3 rows. We all see how it is. We notice the damage and all those things. The row he's going to harvest is a little bit narrow because that's where we started the multiplication, but it still is rich. Then after that, one benefit of using this harvester is that the field is plowed. So we'll wait for him to hit the ridger and then ridge the field. Which means that if you use the harvester in your operation, you don't need to spend so much money to plow again. You don't need so much money to harrow. You just prepare and then ridge. And that is a lot of savings embedded in that. And then after that, we'll go to a new field where we are ridging. So that we want to also promote yam, sweet potato, and cassava on ridges. Yam for export, and then the sweet potato also for high yield, and then the rest. And we'll see that one briefly. And then I think if there are any questions, we'll answer them. If there are difficult ones, we'll give them to God.
Some concerns were raised, and Professor Bobobi gave answers to them.
Yes, madam.
Okay. Did you plant manually or?
Yeah, in fact, our only intervention here is the harvesting.
Okay.
We planted manually. Planting is not so much a difficulty now, but the harvesting also, when the soil is soft, even the harvester can also do it. That is just like any soil engaging implement. But when the soil is hard, when you need cassava throughout the year, when like now the ground is hard, the moisture is very low, that is when the intervention becomes very, useful and then interesting.
And do you have any ambition of going full mechanization, talking about using a planter, cassava cultivator, and a boom sprayer? What was it?
No, actually, boom sprayer, we need a boom sprayer because we do pre-emergence. So we do that. In fact, for me, given the opportunity, I would like to profile or calibrate the full mechanization package so that anybody who comes, based on your own requirement, you pick. But I've been struggling. I'm a struggling researcher. No, all these things I'm doing is out of my own interest. No support. But that is possible. That is within my capability.
Professor Bobobi, who invented the TEK mechanical cassava harvester, demonstrated harvesting of cassava on ridges with the TEK mechanical cassava harvester. Again, the tractor molded ridges on the harvested land without plowing. Professor Bobobi urged farmers to plant cassava on ridges, as that would yield bumper harvest, and based on his research, the new variety contains high percentage of starch for industrial purposes, which will boost the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs.
And since the innovation, what has been the response so far?
The response has been fantastic, but the sales, in terms of people appreciating, even wondering that, they have also seen something which is like history unfolding before their own eyes. It is great. But then when it comes to the people coming to buy, that is where that aspect is very low. But that one too, I don't want to put too much blame on them, because the technology as it is exciting to see, but then it requires some sort of prior preparation, especially the way we have been planting cassava. Traditionally we plant cassava anyhow, haphazardly. And if you do that, this technology will not be useful to you. You must adopt a new method of planting in rows, preferably on ridges. And if people adopt the ridges, especially even the small holder farmer, everybody adopts this ridging technology. In fact, cassava cultivation will be so pleasing, so affordable that even the tractor owner who has the device will be in business continuously throughout the year. And those who are using cassava for other processes will also have all year round supply. So what we need to do is, first of all, to create awareness that cassava planting in the old system of haphazard should be diminished, and then we all take up the new method of planting cassava in rows, preferably on ridges. And if you do that, it has so many advantages. Our colleagues who are agronomists will tell you that if you ridge, the soil is so, rich for the root to develop before bulking. And then I've also noticed from my own experience that if you ridge, the tubers will develop longitudinal along the ridge. And also in these days of climate change, if there is a heavy rainfall during the time the cassava is mature but it's not yet harvested, if the cassava is on the flat, the water will get the tubers rotten. But if you ridge, the furrows will serve as drainage channels, and then it will evacuate the excess moisture. And also in the event of little precipitation, the little one will also accumulate in the furrow. So ridging has so many advantages, from yield benefit to even climate resilient attributes.
He believes that continuous scientific and technical backstopping by research team would help develop soil-specific, durable blades to prolong lifespan and reliability of the device for users to sustain and improve the technology. The development and use of device to harvest cassava mechanically is one solution proposed to unlock the huge potential of cassava as an industrial and export crop. The TEK mechanical cassava harvester is lighter and does not require any dedicated high-power rated tractors.
We design is for life. In fact, it has got no moving parts. And it has got only one replaceable part, that is the blade. And I have engineered the metallurgy of the blade in such a way that up to now we have not even attained the hectare that will call for its replacement. So it was over 100 hectares and above. But apart from that, this is a Ghanaian technology for the world, and it is sustainable. The price, as we see, it is just about $5,000 equivalent. This is the same as the price of any imported agricultural implement, and ours have that tendency that it is even for life. So it is more benefit. Now, when you talk about the environment, the technology we are rolling out calls for what we call in our mechanization language conventional agriculture. That means you have to plow, harrow, and then before planting. Cassava, the way it is, you can even plant it without planting. That is conventional conservation. But if you want to now do the whole cassava production on an industrial scale, then this is we have to go the conventional way. And this conventional way, plowing, harrowing, and ridging. Also, it has some people who think it is not friendly to the environment, but that is not true. if it has even incorporated some sort of environmental sustainability, the ridging technology I spoke about earlier on. If you ridge, it is a conservation agricultural practice. It will enable little moisture to be retained rather than increasing the runoff. If you ridge, it will be able to, evacuate the excess moisture rather than flooding. So those issues that will persist with us, like flooding when there's heavy rainfall, and then severe drought when there's little precipitation, they have been actually curtailed with the use of this ridging technology. So that one compensates for anything environmental. And then also, like you have seen the demonstration, when we use the equipment to harvest, we immediately came in and then ridge. We actually escaped the path of plowing and then harrowing. And these are actually costs that were saved to the farmer, because the cost of plowing is the heaviest of all the production elements. And then we have escaped that one, we have escaped harrowing. So these are benefits that are inherent in this, the adoption of this technology. So in all, if you look at it, the plus and the minus, the pluses are more than the minus.
I'm grateful, sir.
Thank you.